Gregory Palamas viewpoint 1. And what does it mean for us? It has many quite important implications. First, we know, and this victory tells us, that knowing God with the effort of our mind is not enough. It is important to live in God. It is important to experience God. When we know God, we will not necessarily explain what we know. Knowing God is not a job for theologians. It's a job for people like you and I. Any one of us, every one of us, can know God. But what does it take? It takes a personal, ascetic feat. It doesn't come for free. It takes a lot of effort, and it's more than a mental effort. We know it can be hard enough to study. It can be hard enough to learn and read all those many books. But what Gregory Palamas' victory is telling us is that the studying part, is the easiest part. The hardest part is the living part. So what does it take? It takes a certain life experience. First, it takes a virtuous, mindful kind of life, where we question ourselves at every point of our way what our motives are for our decisions, for our actions. When we give alms, when we practice charity. But this is not enough. There are also two other important things that we have to do in order to know God. First is the prayer. The prayer is very important, but it's not the kind of prayer that we would read from a prayer book, or not even the kind of prayer that we would say in the morning or at night. It's an incessant kind of prayer, a prayer that comes from our heart, that is always present with us whatever we do. The continuous, the incessant prayer. It's the prayer that you keep repeating to yourself every time, and all the time you're doing things, you're going about your ways, and you still repeat the prayer. It comes from the heart. It lives with you. How can this be possible? There's a certain kind of prayer that is the easiest to repeat and the easiest to remember, and therefore the easiest to make incessant. It's the Jesus prayer. It consists only of a few words. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And when you live with it in your heart, and when you keep repeating it, you keep saying it in a concentrated way, thinking only about God, that's when this kind of prayer comes from your heart. And what does it give you? It gives you this sort of intuition that is in fact the knowledge of God. It gives you the feeling of closeness with God. It gives you the unity with God. And it makes your life very productive. How does it work for our brothers and sisters in the monastery? In fact, many of our brothers and sisters working in the workshops in the monastery practice incessant prayer all the time. The result are the beautiful works that you see, the icons, the souvenirs, the mugs, the cups. Another thing that we need to do is live a virtuous life in accordance with the commandments, but not just the Moses commandments, not just the 10 commandments that we know in the Bible, but also the commandments of Christ, the commandments of love that we read in the Sermon on the Mount, Christ's sermon, which are in fact the rules of love, showing our love, experiencing love, not being judgmental, is also an important part of this kind of lifestyle. Gregory Palamas' ideas are still influential, and they have survived his time and will probably continue to influence our religious and intellectual life for centuries to come.